So here we are at the town of Cactus, Project Deep Sleep.
No access.
Right?
Right.
So Eric and I are here, and we're just going to kind of unpack what happened today, because it's pretty amazing. So we found the screen-used Knight Rider Dorsey trailer.
Not a replica, not a look-alike.
The original one. Yes. And it's been, I don't know, years in the making, right? It was 2005 whenever I first started looking. I had a website called fullpursuittosemi.com, which was based on the line that Michael says in Kit versus Car.
All right, full pursuit to semi. Go for it!
And I had the website at that time. So that was really the first time I started looking for the actual trailer. And here we are, let's say April 6th, 2022 is the date. We're out here in Arizona, and we found the trailer. We actually found it back in January. January 22nd is the date we found it. But today was the day we actually made it out here to inspect it and 100% confirm that it's the trailer. So I guess we should tell them how we came about finding it, like how it all was put together.
So as you guys know, we've been looking, we found the original screen-used tractor, and of course we need to put the other piece of the puzzle together and find the trailer. Joe and I had been discussing, I've been helping out. I haven't been doing it since 2005. I joined up maybe a few years ago, but obviously Joe and I have been friends, and as well as AJ, friends since maybe early 2000s. Through the hobby. But yeah, so we've been in discussions of how do we go about finding the trailer, and through back and forth discussions, Joe was like, let's put out some videos, which you guys have probably already seen if you follow the channel. There's been a couple videos on it. But after a lot of the leads went cold, Joe called me. He's like, you know what? I think we should just put out another video and just kind of lay out every detail and everything we know about it. Thought about like, all right, that's a good idea. So he put it out, and was it 8 days?
Yeah, so it was the video on, it was, what did I title it? It was like, help us find, or where is the Knight Rider trailer, right? And a lot of you have watched it. I mean, as of the recording of this video, it's well over 100,000 views. So, you know, anytime we record something like that, you always get the people in the comments, oh, it was crushed. Oh, it was sent to Mexico. Oh, I own it and you can have it for $2 million. Stuff like that.
You're wasting your time. It's long gone.
Yeah. So
keeps that.
Sifting through all of those comments, we got an email. And it was very, very late on January 22nd of this year, 2022. And all it said was, possibly have the Knight Rider trailer. That was the title of it. And in the body was, I think I have the trailer, and a couple pictures. And the two pictures, there were two pictures. One was a picture of some bolts screwed into the side of the trailer, and the second picture was the serial number plate, the VIN plate. And for those of you who watched that first video of us trying to find the trailer, you'll remember there was one section where I said we had two possible VINs for the trailer. And I explained in that video kind of how we found them, and that those VINs were connected to Universal Studios. We never said what the VINs were in that video, and we did that on purpose. So when this guy sent us pictures, the first thing we looked at the picture of the side of the trailer with the bolts in it. And we're like, well, we know that the original trailer had these bolts on the side. They held on some of the pulley and the winch apparatus to put the ramp up and down. And we looked at it, and those bolts were in the exact same place as they were in the show, which was crazy, because why else would those bolts be there? So then we turned and looked at the VIN plate, and it was one of the two VINs that we had got from this other source.
Now keep in mind, we didn't know for sure at the time. The source that we got those VINs from basically said, hey, these are possible serial numbers for it. It just kind of matched up certain criteria based on our research, but we didn't know 100% sure.
Right, but one of those two VINs was, one of those two trailers was sold to a company that rented out to Universal Studios many, many times throughout the years. And I think we can tell them, it was a company called JT McKinney. And some of you guys out there have heard of JT McKinney. You've talked about it in the comments before. JT McKinney was a movie truck rental outfit, I guess you could say. And actually, if you watch the show, there are a number of times when you see a truck or a trailer, and you'll see that they have JT McKinney mud flaps on them. So this one serial number we tied to JT McKinney. It was sold to JT McKinney brand new in 1978, this Dorsey drop van. So we knew that potentially could be one of the, or could be the trailer. And so when this guy told us that he had this trailer and it was the same VIN plus the bolts on the side, we knew we found it.
Yeah.
It was actually
They're very unique. They're not the bolts that you'd find on another Dorsey trailer. If you watch the video and follow the channel, you'll see very particular, specific bolts in very specific locations.
Yeah. So the next day, I had a phone call with the owner, and it was a really cool phone call. He was in just as much shock as we were that it was the Night Rider trailer. He had no idea. So we had a few back and forths, and we decided, well, we really need to come out and see it. So, February went by, March went by, just trying to align schedules so Eric could get out here, I could get out here, so the owner was available. And today's the day, finally, that we were able to kind of put it all together. Now, like I said, today's April 6th of 2022. You're probably not going to be seeing this video until months later, until, we've fully secured it. So, but we wanted to record this for posterity, I guess, right? Just because today was so exciting. We spent hours and hours with the trailer. We took tons of pictures, inside, outside, video all around. Eric even recreated the scene from The Wrong Crowd where the stuntman is running across the top of the trailer.
Almost burned my knee and hand getting up there because it's pretty hot. But
yeah. Today's what, 95
degrees.
95 degrees and full sun.
Didn't think about that till I started to climb onto the roof.
Yeah.
Then I felt it.
So, I mean, you'll see in the video that the trailer has been modified heavily. So the story goes, after the show ended, it changed hands a couple of times, but one of the previous owners raced drag boats in it. And then the two subsequent owners, the owner after that and then the current owner, raced drag cars in it. Now, a drag car is, the top fuel type long dragsters that are 20 feet long. So they needed a long trailer to haul it. So they actually put in a hydraulic drop deck it looks like the drop ceiling that was in there, but it's not. It's a deck, and then the hydraulics lower it to the angle of the ramp so the dragster can be pulled in, and that's how that worked. But so it's been heavily modified. Side skirts were added, as you can see, and I don't know what else. What are we missing?
Yeah, you would never recognize it if you saw it on the road. You'd have to know what you're looking for. And
the problem is, which we discovered today and we didn't know before, is unfortunately the paint job, the original black paint job with gold, was all soda blasted off before it was painted white. There are a few places on the trailer that do still have black paint. Along the very, very bottom, the paint was chipping. We pulled some of it off, and you could see the black paint behind it. All the door jambs, the jam around the ramp is all still black. But the actual panels themselves were unfortunately all soda blasted down to their bare aluminum and repainted. So we're unfortunately not going to find the original stripes or shield underneath there we'll be able to recreate them pretty much exactly, because the nice thing about that trailer is it has so many rivets that we can actually perfectly size and place all of the graphics based on those rivets. We can count the rivets and make sure that the stripes are where they need to be. So we'll recreate it exactly, but it's such a shame that it's all gone.
Yeah. But a lot of, the original panels, a lot of the original panels on the sides are still there. Got the original pop rivets.
Original door, the man door on the side is all original. We think some of the drop ceiling is still original, not where that hydraulic deck is, but further forward there's a drop ceiling. We think that might still be the original drop ceiling that they had in the trailer. We're not 100% sure. We won't know until we dig into this, but the entire trailer, the inside's going to need gutted down to the studs, and there's going to need to be some repair work because they cut a window in the side, they put an air conditioner in, a generator in. All that's going to need to be cut off.
For a lounge area.
Yeah, and new panels welded in, new reinforcement ribs behind it. So, this is a multi-year project. It's going to be a long time. But
with enough people to help, maybe it doesn't have to be a multi-year project.
well, yeah, and here's the deal. I mean, we're not exactly rolling in the Benjamins, right?
No.
I mean, so
Joe and I are everyday people with
yes, we're
everyday
gonna
lives
need
and careers,
we're definitely gonna need some help on this. So, maybe you have a skill out there related to this project that maybe you'd be interested in donating some of your time or materials to help toward this project. I mean, it's paint, bodywork. It's going to be tens of thousands of dollars, and I mean,
or maybe not you, but someone. Hey, my brother runs a whatever shop, and
yeah, I mean, maybe you work for PPG or something, and you could get paint donated or the paint job or things like that. So, we'll certainly be in touch. Send us a message if it's something that you think you might be able to help with, because I think all of us, everyone watching this video, wants this trailer and the truck to be restored back to the way they were in 1986, and that's our goal. We want this to be an exact recreation.
And we want to be able to share it with all you guys.
Yes.
Either through YouTube or one day doing events where you guys can physically come from all over the world, because we know there's many of you that will come.
And, we should say that the plan is to recreate the semi-interior inside of the trailer, right? It was never actually in the trailer. It was on stage 1 at Universal Studios. But we did some measurements, and it's pretty darn close to what the actual stage was. So I think, excuse me. So I think the plan is to recreate the interior, so we can literally drive a car up in there and then go sit and bring up criminal files on our Texas Instruments professional computer, and then click on blinky lights on panels that don't do anything, right?
Blinky 80s lights.
Blinky 80s lights, yeah.
A couple of cool tidbits we can share with you that are still there are the remnants of the holes where that big vertical bar was drilled in for the that 4-season episode, The Wrong Crowd, where you see the stunt guy climbing up and jogging across the roof. The air vents, the 2 offset air vents on the top of the trailer, have been filled in, but they're still very clearly...
Well, have they been filled in? I think the vents are still there, right? They've just been sealed shut?
Yeah, they were sealed shut, and obviously whether it was the quality of the work or just over time, it's been, 30, 40 years close to?
Yeah.
Like, you can see it deteriorated. So when I was up there, you can see, where it looked like they used filler around the, the square seal. So it's very apparent that the air vents are there still.
Yeah, what else?
Very prominent.
So when you were up there looking at the vents, could you see how Hasselhoff could climb through one, or did they look way too small?
No, they when you're up there, they're much bigger than they look.
Okay.
On screen. On video.
I didn't know if he had to suck his gut in to get out of this.
Maybe, but he's 6'4". But yeah, I mean, even in the pictures, some of the screenshots it looks like a pretty tiny hole, but obviously he was able to get through there.
Yeah.
And when I was up there, I'm like, oh, these square holes are pretty big.
And the ramp. So you guys probably noticed from watching the show, there was the ramp, and then there were ramp extensions that came out of the edge of the ramp. The ramp extensions, unfortunately, are gone. That's all been ripped out, but the ramp is the original door. So, I mean, just in fabrication alone of getting new ramps in and getting that whole mechanism to work is going to be a huge undertaking in and of itself.
So again, if you or someone you know is big into metal fabrication or diamond plating, any of that type of stuff, and is interested, we obviously love to include people, especially that grew up with the show too, so has that kind of sentimental value to them,
right,
as it has for us, and to just want to be a part of it.
Yeah. So it was a pretty amazing day, pretty historical day, and by the time you see this video, we will have secured the trailer. So from our point of view, on April 6th, it's going to be a couple months because there's some logistics and different things that need to take place. The trailer needs new tires. It needs to make sure all the lights work, the brakes, because unlike the tractor that was flatbedded, to our location for restoration, this trailer is actually going to be on the road. So we've got to make sure it's safe and completely road legal. But so that's going to take some time, and then there's a few other things to work out. So, but by the time you see this, we're going to have it. We're just super excited. We had an amazing day today, and we can't wait to share this next chapter with you. We got to finish the truck first, the tractor. There's too many projects and not enough time or manpower. So,
or funds.
Or funds too, yeah. So, but we're making it happen. So, all right, I think that takes care of that. And without further delay, let's reveal the trailer. Be sure to check out our exclusive merch not found anywhere else, like our semi-restoration team apparel, along with our line of Garthwear, trademark pending, coffee mugs, t-shirts, and hoodies in a variety of colors to suit every taste. Your purchase directly supports this channel and helps us to continue bringing you awesome content. View the merch below or click the link in the description for our entire catalog. Yes, it's true.
We found the original screen-used Dorsey trailer.
And it's not scrapped.
Here we are in the town of Cactus, USA, hooking up the original one-of-one Knight Rider screen-used Dorsey trailer. We're going to reunite it with the third, fourth season semi-tractor. If all goes well, they will be together in about 3 or 4 days, and that'll be the first time in what, 36 years? There it is, the original Knight Rider screen use trailer, finally found after 36 years. And it's being hauled away to be reunited with the semi-tractor.
There you go. Tractor and trailer. Oh boy.
Hey, hey, reunited, and it feels so good.
All right, so let's do a walk around of the Flag semi-trailer screen used today. And I think just to stop any of you guys in the comments from just saying this, there's no way this is the right trailer, let's start by showing you all the reasons it is the right trailer. All right. So to do that, let's head around back here. So the first thing we're going to start with are right here. Do you see those bolts? You got a series of 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 more right there. Those bolts can be seen on the trailer in the show. That held in the winch apparatus for the ramp right there. All right, so we've got that. Moving down right here. At the very top, you see those 3 bolts right along the top right there. Again, part of the winch, and we think it was a hydraulic ram that opened and closed the ramp, but that's part of that apparatus as well. All right, obviously we've got the side door here, which you never see open in the show, but there it is, so that's correct.
Most of the Dorsey van trailers that they made back then had double doors because they were furniture vans, so that's like another one of the distinguishing things of it's got the one single door on the passenger side.
Yeah, because we've seen a number of Dorsey trailers, and is this the only one we've ever seen with the correct man door? I think it is.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Because I've acquired a bunch of Dorsey brochures from the original company, and most of them they were labeled as furniture vans. They had either double doors on one side, or they had 2 sets of double doors on one or both sides. But I think we have yet to find any of those Dorsey trailers that we found actually had the single passenger side door.
I think you're right. Okay, so moving on, we've got these bolts, right? We've got one right here, and then 2 more up there. One right there, one right there. Again, you can match those to the show.
There was also some, I don't know if we can see it here, but Joe and I, when we first reviewed it, we had looked over for paint. And on some of like the bottom and the very top trims, we believe that most of the main panels were soda blasted. But we had found some traces of black paint, much like the semi-tractor. Underneath was the blue, the red, the black. We had found some chips of the paint. We'll get into it later, but when you open the door, you can even see on the side of the single door, it still has the black paint underneath.
Well, and actually that's a great segue, Eric, because if we go back here to the ramp, which is halfway open, right, it has black along the edge. Now, you know, I guess we'll get into this we'll get into the ramp here in a minute. Let's walk around and show all the other ways that we kind of know that this is the right trailer. So this panel, which as you can see got a little bent and doesn't want to stay closed, but so the wrong crowd, right? One of our favorite episodes, the semi is hijacked. In that episode and for that episode, the stunt guys welded on a bar right here. And in the episode, you see the stunt guy transferring from the motorcycle, he grabs onto the bar, he climbs up and gets on the roof, right? So if you look here, and Eric, can you come around here and maybe hold this shut here? And by the way, look how it's black underneath.
Yep.
Okay, so if you hold that shut, look right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the original mounting holes for the bar that was right there. And the bar was only on the driver's side. They never put one on the passenger side, right?
Yeah, and if you look at like the episode screenshots, some of the stuff you guys might wonder like, how do you guys know this and that? It's really just kind of, you know, put on your like detective thinking cap and you just look at the Blu-ray screenshots. You can like look at where they are in relation to the rivets, and then you can also kind of gauge some other pieces of information, which we'll get into more later, of exactly where they were located, where they should be located, and where we end up finding them.
Right.
Another thing I want to point out that Joe noticed yesterday, I don't know if you can get the angle right here, Joe, but just to the left of those unique bolts, you see that like straight line. It looks almost like a crease.
Right there. There's a crease.
Across those 2
You
panels.
see that?
So those you could see in episode screenshots, even when it was back in black, like, you know, what, 36 years ago. So those creases are still there today. Things that are, obviously, that's not, I don't think that's an intended factory.
Well, no, that was done probably a stunt on the show. They ran into something and it caused a crease right there, and it has never been fixed.
Yeah.
So additionally, there's the bolts on this side, right?
Yep.
So we've got those. A couple of the bolts, well, on this side, just one is missing. It was filled in with silicone, but for the most part, all the bolts are there. And of course, we have, right, the belly boxes. Now, not this. This part was added later. Right there, these are the original belly boxes for the show. Now, the latches have been changed out, but if you watch the show, the original handles were right here in the middle, and take a look.
You can see there's still the original.
There's the original holes right there.
And the center mounted handles.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, you open it up,
Yep, there's the belly boxes full of cacti from Arizona.
And some rodent poo.
And rodent poo.
Not
yeah.
as much as there was before.
Right.
You should have seen that passenger side. Oh, it was horrible.
Well, we have video of it in Arizona, don't
right.
we? Yeah, so we'll be sure to do that. So belly boxes end here. This was added on later. That's actually a water tank, so we're gonna get rid of all that.
You can even see like where this additional pieces were welded on. So this is basically the end of the original belly box. All of this stuff, one of the previous owners.
Even this was added too. The belly box is supposed to end right there.
It even has, I think, Joe, we forgot to mention the original style rims.
Yes, these are the original rims.
Obviously, they're not black anymore.
Yeah, they chromed them, but they were black on the show, so we'll rectify that.
You can even go in and look at some screenshots. I think some of the better episodes, Night of the Juggernaut, when it's parked outside, there's a really good, shot. If you pause it, you can see like the design and the detail of the rims.
Yeah.
And it matches up.
And up here, again, matching from the other side. Bolt, bolt, bolt. None of that is factory Dorsey. It was all done by Universal Studios.
The beveled edges here and the angled edges here, they were a Dorsey option, but many of the, I'd say the majority of the Dorsey trailers that we came across didn't have that.
Yeah.
So that just, it's just one more detail that sticks out and more. It's like, oh, this is the one we're looking for. It's got to have these angles on the sides, and it's got to have this outer lip that comes out right here. All right, so one of, I think, the biggest ways that we confirm this is the trailer we're looking for, I kind of have to give you a little bit of backstory. In some of the previous videos, Joe had mentioned, through our research, we had found some different trailer sales companies. So back in 2019, I took a ride out to Elba, Alabama, where if you guys have looked at all, that's where Dorsey's headquarters were. Now, I just kind of showed up there, hoping to talk to somebody that had been with the company for a long time. And I got pretty lucky and made the acquaintance of an engineer who'd been there for approximately 40 years. So he'd been in there in the 80s. I told him what we were looking for. He was the one that said, hey, we went through bankruptcy in the mid-2000s. We used to keep logs of them like handwritten in order of all the trailers they sold, but they no longer had it. What he did do, he gave all the information that Joe provided in the Dorsey trailer video, the one that actually prompted us finding the actual trailer, about it being a DFVPT, what that stood for, the model number, all that stuff came from him. And he rattled it off like it was yesterday. He was telling me, this is, these are the dimensions of the trailer, this is the type of floor that it had, this is how thick it was, these are the brand of wiring harnesses. The guy was just remarkable. He referred me to the gentleman out in LA, basically said, hey, if there's somebody that had a hand in, trailer sales in the TV movie industry, you might want to talk to this guy. So I said, okay, great. So I reached out to that person. Also, same, very, very knowledgeable, very helpful, extremely friendly. And we just kind of kept in contact over the last couple of years. And as we had been doing our research and kind of cataloging the Dorsey trailers, as Joe was talking about, based on the VIN classifications, how it was possibly 6 digits before it was 17, all that stuff, I had kind of mentioned to him, some of the general parameters. And he had told me before, he said, hey, if you guys had a serial number and we had a hand in it, we probably still have the original file. They're just one of those types of companies that keeps all that stuff. Unfortunately, we didn't have the serial number at the time, so we were kind of, hit a dead end. But I had contacted him one day, hadn't talked to him in a while. It was actually after I followed up on one of our leads that didn't pan out. I decided to give him a call. And he said, hey, I was going through our archives recently and I came across, 2 serial numbers that fit the general criteria of what you guys are looking for based on the year range, the model type of trailer. So he provided those for us, and we tried to do some search histories. We couldn't find anything. So fast forward to after Joe put out this video in January, had a gentleman reach out and say, hey, I think I might have the trailer you're looking for. So of course, one of the first things we asked him, Joe asked him, he said, hey, can you provide the serial number or the VIN plate? And he provided a picture of it, which is super, it was kind of hard to read because it's, as you can see, it's like super faded over the years, but it's actually stamped and engraved the actual serial numbers and some of the other dimensions. And when he provided it, we were able to zoom in on the picture. We could see Joe called me that night and he said, he's like, hey, this is one of those 2 serial numbers that you got from the trailer guy out in California. And at that point, we had already matched up the bolts through the pictures and just very unique things that people aren't just going to do on their own because they weren't factory. So if there was any question then, it's like, okay, now we know we've got the right trailer. So I reached back out to that gentleman who, again, has continued to be extremely helpful. I said, hey, we matched it up. We found the trailer. It's one of those serial numbers that you provided for me. So he was able to go back into his archives, into his storage unit, because that company has since closed down, but they still had kept some files. And he found the original sales paperwork, which is what I'm holding right here, from the sale of that trailer back in October of 1977. So how cool is that to be able to track that back and match it up with everything that we've done in our research before we even knew any of this stuff, what was legit, what wasn't. So we just kind of want to give you a little background on that. That's probably like the nail in the coffin of how we confirm that this is the trailer that we're looking for.
We've got a new feature across the Knight Rider Historians YouTube channel, Super Thanks, not to be confused with Super Pursuit. With Super Thanks, you have the option to post a distinct, colorful, and fully customizable comment in our videos comments section. This shows the world that you are a super Knight Rider fan and will stand out amongst the sea of comments that we receive. Go ahead, give it a try. And every Super Thanks gets a super response from us. Press the thanks button. Just don't press the turbo boost. All right, so we're gonna do something that really you never saw on the show. We're going to open up the side door and take you inside the actual trailer. On the show, you really never saw the inside of the trailer. That was all on a set. I guess the closest you ever saw the inside of the trailer was whenever KITT was going in and out, and you could kind of see the back half with the door open, but you never really see what's inside here. So let's take a look. Follow me in. Oh, look, Bonnie left her computer and her coffee maker. No, unfortunately, this stuff was not in here when we got it. This is all replica pieces that will eventually make it in here when this is all redone. But yeah, just looking down here, this is where KITT, where Jack Gill drove KITT up into the trailer. He even said, on occasion he'd knock a side mirror off when they were going in and out. So as you can see, the whole inside has been completely renovated. Previous owners had turned it into a carrier for a drag boat and then a top fuel dragster over the years. So you can see the walls, they've all been insulated, they've been paneled. Above us, we have a hydraulic drop deck. This is not the drop ceiling that you see, whenever you see KITT going in and out and you see a drop ceiling. This is an actual drop deck with these large hydraulic rams here. They'll lower the roof so they can get a long dragster in. And of course, all of this has to come out, right? We're gonna gut this down to the studs in here. And then in the front area, and so just to kind of put it in perspective, so right about here, if you were comparing the actual trailer to the set on stage 1 at Universal, this is where KITT would be, right? And then right about here, this would be the lounge area where you'd have, the wood wall unit, the boomerang unit with the blinky lights back there, and then of course the lounge area. So what we have here is obviously a bunch of workbenches, stainless steel workbenches with toolboxes underneath. We did uncover, these are the original walls. If you look underneath the bench here, we removed that panel, and those are the original wood walls from 1978. We've yet to see if the wood walls are behind all of this or just up here, but that was very encouraging. The original wood floor is underneath this aluminum paneling. We do know that on the show, at least the back half, had diamond plate on the floor. So this is not the original floor, but underneath it is the original wood floor from Dorsey from 1978. So if we walk back here, obviously we're still on the drop deck portion, but they actually finished this upper portion as a lounge, just like you kind of saw on the set. So let's go in here and take a look.
Kind of a shame that we're going to have to tear it out because it was really...
It is. You can see how, I mean, someone put a ton of money into this back in the day. There's an air conditioner. There's this nice seat right here, you know, wraparound lounge couch here with storage underneath. So these all open and they can put storage underneath. And yeah, there's the a previous racing checkerboard floor that's now yellowed. We've got a sink here. We've got, oh, look what my son wrote on the counter right there. The original trailer. That's neat. Cabinets. Oh, look. Well,
oh, paper plates.
How about that? Free paper plates with the purchase of a trailer.
Well,
yes.
In here.
Yes. We've got a fridge in here.
Never.
Slightly yellowed. There's some spiders in there, but hey, maybe it works.
We'll buff right out.
Yeah, we'll try it. We've got a pretty killer sound system up here.
Ew,
look at that.
Last time you saw one of those?
I don't know. It's been a while. Oh, a cassette deck. This is premium. That's impressive. That's impressive.
Dual cassette, Joe.
Dual cassette. Oh, well, I'm not worthy of that.
Yeah. High-speed dubbing.
Right. Ceiling. They put a drop ceiling in with some spotlights. Nice and yellowed.
More cabinet space.
More, oh, this looks, oh, look. Look at this. I found a present for Eric. Do you think this is Hasselhoff's straw hat?
It could be.
It might be.
Maybe from an episode.
Oh, yeah. This is the episode where he went undercover as a farmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Rotten apple style.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So we'll be auctioning this off for $6,000 if anyone's interested.
Original
Yes.
trailer hat.
Original trailer hat. Anything in here? No. Just a wobbly cabinet.
It's an original wobbly cabinet.
It's an original wobbly cabinet.
Some nice ceiling lights.
Yeah. Did we even see what's in? Did they leave anything in any of these?
I didn't even check.
That's all empty. Let's see if there's anything in any of these. Oh, look at this. There's some change there. We got
Penny
some
saved is
a penny. Earn discount tires. Always good to know. What else do we have here? Oh, some gaskets. Oh, geez. Look at that. A coolant cap.
surprise, nothing.
Yeah, surprise.
Is this current?
Use spark plugs. That's great. Oh, that one doesn't want to open. Oh, snap-on. Zip ties.
We could use those for some drywall hubcaps.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and some rags. Waterproof sandpaper? What in the earth? Unbelievable. Oh, yeah. Sparkulators?
It's time for the sparkulator.
Time for a sparkulator. Some airhead fittings. Oh, yeah. They left us some goodies. What would you do if I like opened this drawer and Sid came out, like from Hills of Fire, the satellite infiltration drone? Maybe he's up here. Maybe, yeah, there's like a soccer ball up here. Wouldn't that be neat?
And then he gets stuck in your trees behind the trailer.
Yes, and he malfunctions. I got a drone stuck in the trees behind my trailer, actually.
How did that work out for you?
It's still up there. Yeah. So as you can see, we have a ton of work to do in here. Just ripping this out, we're still not sure how this hydraulic drop deck is getting out of here. Basically, if I start removing stuff, I will die by being crushed. So we need to figure out, we got to get someone in here with some machinery and lift this thing out of here. I don't even know. But none of this is the original drop ceiling that was in here. We don't know if there was a drop ceiling the whole way back, but we know there was one at least in the front, but that is definitely not it. So all needs to come out. gutted down to the studs and rebuilt back to what it was.
So if you guys or you know someone out there who deals with this type of heavy type of equipment, whether it's installation, removal, maintenance, we're going to take a look at what's on top of the quote drop ceiling that this trailer came with, which is actually a retractable ramp. Much like a car carrier transport can lower to fit vehicles up on a second level. It's pretty bright up here, but as you can see, there's some, thank you, some pieces left over, some straps. You can kind of see the, like the side railing, the bracing supports. Just gonna climb through here with me. So maybe that give you a little better view of just kind of what it looks like up here. So it looks like there is another winch type pulley system. Let's see what these pieces are. It's got some metal and wood. There you can see it's like a bracket that's bolted down. You can see the Dayton winch. Ouch. Yeah, watch your head. Some fluorescent lights up above. There you can see here, it's like metal there, but over here we got some wood panels, a bunch of cabling. Some support straps. There's a jack. Here's a little winch set up here. Kind of runs all the way across here. And coming back out. Not sure what all these pieces are from or what they're for. I reckon some of it could be as well as once you lower that back half. I think some of them could be just like support pieces to keep them secure in place. Well, we'll see how Joe fares when he comes up here. Maybe he won't be as clumsy as me and knock his head on the ceiling. Seeing as how he's generously taller than me. There. So there you get a good look at the diamond plate. And now it looks similar to what was in the original one, but as you can see, this is like a two-piece diamond plate that was installed on the ramp. We're able to kind of peek inside that. At some point, we'll be taking the diamond plating off to really dissect and analyze the inner structure. We got an idea of what it looks like underneath just from what the limited stuff we can see. Down there, that section with the two squares, that looks like it was heavily modified. We still haven't figured out the extent of the modifications, other than we just know that in the show it was flush. I don't know if this is like the best angle. If I kind of face it like there, you can kind of see how it angles down. Whereas in the show, it was just, it went straight all the way across. So we know some type of modifications had been made to it by the previous owner. So there you have it.
All right, so you might be wondering, how can I help with the restoration? Well, as you can imagine, restoring not only the tractor, but the trailer is an absolutely huge undertaking, not only in time, but money as well. Now, I think it's safe to say we all want this flag trailer to be restored back to the condition it was in when it was used on the show, right? We want to be able to open the rear ramp with the extensions and drive KITT up inside. We want to be able to sit in the recreation of the set on the inside, right? In order to do that, it's going to take help from the entire Knight Rider community. So you might be wondering, well, how can I help? Well, there's a number of different ways. First and foremost, share this video, right? The more the word gets out, the more we will find people that hopefully can help us. We have a GoFundMe page set up for the restoration of the semi-tractor. We're going to expand that to include the trailer as well. So you can find a link to that GoFundMe page down below this video in the description. Every single dollar helps. Also, you know, maybe you can't help monetarily, but maybe you can help with labor or services, right? So things like heavy duty equipment. So we're going to need a forklift to take off, you know, that generator, and to remove the hydraulic drop deck on the inside. We're going to need some heavy duty equipment. Maybe you have some connections or can help us volunteer your time and bring some equipment out and get that stuff removed. Paint removal. The trailer is going to need stripped down before it can be repainted. There's so much paint chipping, we can't just paint over it. It's going to need stripped down. Maybe you own a soda blasting service, a mobile soda blasting service or something similar, and you want to help. We would very much appreciate that. Paint and body. We're going to have to paint the trailer, which is, can you imagine how many gallons of paint that's going to take? Metal fabrication, right? The whole ramp on the back end needs completely reworked to make it back to the way it was back in 1986. It's all been changed so much. Tons of metal fabrication is going to need to be done. So those are just a few of the ways that you can help us. If you think that you might be able to help us in any of these ways, you know, outside of the GoFundMe page, which you can of course donate to at any time. But if you have some other, you know, gift or some service that you could provide to help us out, let us know. Email us at knightriderhistorians@gmail.com, and you know, we'd love to talk to you more about it. Okay, so what an amazing discovery, isn't it? We found the one and only, one of one, screen-used Knight Rider flag trailer. Now the real fun begins, the restoration. Don't forget, we still have to finish the tractor. There's just too much to do and not enough time or manpower. But I hope you enjoyed this. Please share this video. If you liked it, please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel if you aren't already. Please check out our Patreon page if you want kind of behind-the-scenes video, photos, early access to all of our content. You know, all that helps, and it all goes towards being able to save and rescue things like this trailer. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. Hey, there's not a taxi in sight. Pretty soon it's going to be hot enough to melt rocks out here, pal.
I'm sorry.
Hey, there's not a taxi in sight. Pretty soon it's going to be hot enough to melt rocks out here, pal. We got to get you running again.
I'm not sure that's possible.
Well, I can't move you. It better be.
I'm afraid we zigged when we should have zagged.
Let's go back to basics. Let's take a look at your ESB.
What in the world is that?
in the world is that?
What in the world is that?
Your emergency schematic blueprint. You haven't forgotten that, have you?
I almost did.
It's coming back to me now. Yeah, it's coming back to you now, isn't it, Kit?
It's coming back to me now, Joe.
Along with everything else, 90% of your turbine blades are shot.
Well, without that, the odds of...
My goodness, without that, I'm powerless. Come on, Eric.
My goodness. Without that, I'm powerless.
Well, it's our only shot. Say, where on earth are we going?
Where on earth are we going?
Out of the desert. And scene. That was terrible. All right, hope you guys enjoyed that.